And part of the market jitters at this hour have to do with what all central bankers are doing. And that appears to be confusing all of you, confusing people about what they will do next, specifically the Fed, besides worry. Not even the central bank itself seems to know the answer to that question. The Federal Reserve was expected to raise interest rates at least 3 times this year in what was meant to be sort of that first step in winding down U.S. economic stimulus. But that plan has now been called into major question with the release of the Fed minutes from the March meeting. Those minutes came out yesterday and, in essence, indicated that the Fed pretty much seems to be heavily divided over what the next policy move should be. Heavy on the side of worry. This says current Fed Chair Janet Yellen, I'm looking at my watch, she's about to appear within hours alongside the 3 living former Federal Reserve chairs, Ben Bernanke, Alan Greenspan, and Paul Volcker this evening to give their thoughts on the influence of the central bank. But Peter Barnes is getting you an early window into what Yellen and company are thinking. He just sat down with San Francisco Fed President John Williams for an exclusive one-on-one interview that will air in the next hour on After the Bell with David and Melissa. Peter's in San Francisco Live. Peter, I guess, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but where does Williams stand on this should they or shouldn't they hike question?
Well, Liz, remember also that Janet Yellen gave a speech last week saying that the Fed should be cautious about raising rates again because of turmoil in the global economy. Williams is watching that, too, but says that the U.S. economy is doing well, and if it continues to do well, he could support at least 2 more rate hikes this year.
I think that obviously we have to take into account global developments because they spill back into the U.S. economy. They affect job growth. They affect inflation. So that's been a very big topic for us because, honestly, the U.S. economy is doing pretty well, but the global economy has been struggling. We've seen that in Europe. We're seeing it in Asia. So clearly these are some of the important factors affecting U.S. growth. Also important factors affecting the uncertainty about the outlook. So those are issues that we're going to keep watching. I see some signs of improvement there in terms of it seems like uncertainty about global growth seems to have stepped down a bit, but it is an important factor affecting the U.S. economic outlook and monetary policy.
Now, Williams downplayed any possible rift on policy with Yellen, saying Fed members hold a range of views on the U.S. economic outlook, but he did say that while some members might see downside risks to the outlook, he sees risks as pretty well balanced with some strong upside potential for the U.S. economy despite this global turmoil.
Really?
And we will air the rest of this interview at, so we'll have the rest of this interview at 4:40 with David and Melissa, and we'll have an exclusive 3 or 4 minutes more on the global economic outlook and the situation with Yellen and the process.
Right.
He doesn't think we got a global recession. That'll be on our website, foxbusiness.com, also later today.
This is particularly timely, Peter. Thank you, because, folks, you can see what the markets are doing on this lower part of the ticker. Much of this is that worry about what the Federal Reserve members think. Peter, getting that exclusive interview. Please don't miss it in the next hour.